Okay, so the second part of this tutorial about elastic interpolation. I will be using the same rig, I'm very sorry about that. But in the first tutorial I showed you how to use the elastic interpolation and how to delay the keyframes in order to get a softer, more organic movement. In this case I want to show you how to give some intention to the movement and how to apply that intention to all the bones or many of the bones in the scene. We probably will work on scenes that have many plants moving and many plants reacting, so being able to create a better reaction and to apply that reaction, that movement, to several plants easily, it's a great advantage we can use. So here is the thing. I don't know how this tutorial will work, but we will see. I will animate only one bone. Okay, so I want to try my movement in only one bone. So I will select this one. This is the lucky one. So I will start rotating. And first, in frame 1, I will reset the rotation. Okay, just to have that keyframe there. And then, okay, let's say I want this bone to be pushed, right? Because again, it's the same movement. Someone is pushing the plant from right to left. So I will push it to the left. Okay. But now I want to give it some. No, wait. Someone push it to the left, and then it goes back to the original position. So I will copy this here. Okay. So we are doing basically the same movement, right? Now we will select the keyframe in the middle and we will select the elastic interpolation, and again it's a similar process. So we have the elastic interpolation there, and maybe we will start adjusting the speed of this interpolation. So maybe we want the plant to react quicker or slower. It will depend on what we want. Okay, but now once we have that, I want to go to the motion graph. So I will select the motion graph tab here, and I will double click in the rotation channel of the bone I have selected. So it's this one, and we can see the movement here, right? So you can see the rotation. This is the rotation to the left, then it goes down, up, down, and then to the original position. But now if someone is pushing this, probably the movement won't be as soft as this one. So I will select this keyframe, I will set it as Bezier. So let's suppose someone push this, but it will take a bit to push it, and maybe once it pushes it, it will be very fast, but then it will stay up, you know, or stay at the left for a bit longer, and then it will go back. So maybe actually I will create a new keyframe here. So maybe it will be something like this. So basically what I want is it will push it, the branch will still being pushed with a little less of strength, but it will still being pushed to the left of the screen for a while. You see, maybe a bit more here. So, and then it will go back, and now the movement going back, it's too short, so maybe I will do that. And now maybe I can select this keyframe, because I don't like, I like this part. I like how it is being pushed, but I don't like how it goes back to the original position. So I will select this keyframe, which is the elastic keyframe, and maybe I will expand the scale. So now I will right click, I'm using the right click button in my pen, and I will right click and drag to the right to increase the scale. So right now you can see how you can see in real time how the scale is bigger now. So I know it's too big right now, but I will reduce it. But the idea is I can start dragging here, and maybe I can get a better idea of the movement, and maybe I will have more bounces because the movement here is more violent. Boom. So it will depend. I mean, the number of bounces are on how quick they bounce. It will depend of the material the plant is made. If it is stronger, probably the bounciness will be more like springy. But I want to make it make it longer now. Okay, so I'm moving this keyframe with by pressing Shift. So I have that now. So it's going to the left and then going back, and now it stays moving for a while. Okay, so let's suppose I really like this curve. Okay, so this is all I need, this curve. So what I will do now is I will go back to the channels view, and what I can do is to copy all the keyframes of this animation. So I will copy them with Ctrl C. And now I can select another bone. For instance, I can select this bone here, and I will paste this keyframe. So I will paste the keyframe from one bone to the other, but I will paste them in a relative way because I want the let me show you something first to explain the relative. Copy and paste. So let's suppose I have this bone and this bone, okay? And with this bone I make this movement. And I really like this movement. It's great. And I want to repeat this movement into this bone. So I will select all the keyframes here. I will copy them. Sorry, all the keyframes in the red line. I will copy them with Ctrl C. And now I will select the other bone. And I will paste these keyframes I already copied, so I will press Ctrl V. But now, as you can see, what I pasted is the exact angle of the bone. So this bone was pointing left, and now in frame 0 it was pointing left at the beginning, but now since I pasted the animation of the other bone, it will be pointing up because the other bone was pointing up. So I will undo that. Instead of pasting this in the normal way, I will paste it in a relative way. So when I paste it in a relative way, the software will consider the original angle of it, and it will add the movement to that angle. So instead of modifying that angle, it will add the rest of the movement considering that angle. So let me show you. So if I go to Edit and paste relative here, okay, I have a shortcut assigned, but I did that myself. So if you want a shortcut, you will have to add one for yourself. I totally recommend you to do that, actually. So I will paste it relative, and now I have the same movement for both bones, but considering their differences. So it is very, very important to use paste relative, and it's a very, very powerful tool, and we will check that in recycling world cycles or recycling animation. It's very, very important. So now I will go back to the to my original animation. Here I will select the bone again. So this is the bone with all the movement. So I will copy all the keyframes of this bone. So from frame 1 to the last frame, I will copy them, right? And now I will select the other bone here, this one, and I will paste relative, but maybe I will paste a little later. So this movement will happen a little bit later. So I will paste, but relatively. So now I will get exactly the same movements, but a different moment, and I am getting exactly the same Bezier handle and the same curve, and everything is the same, but it is happening at a different moment and also at a different angle, because it is considering the position of the bone and the angle of the bone. So now if I do the same with this one, for instance, you can see this one is pointing to the other side of the screen. So I will paste it, let's suppose here. I will go and paste relatively. And you can see how it does the same movement, but relative to its movement. Okay, I'm doing it in the wrong way. This bone should move first according to the previous exercise, but I'm sorry, I mean according to the previous tutorial, but I am messy. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so I can continue doing that. So maybe now I can do the same with this bone. So for instance, if I see this bone, the movement of this bone is starting here. So maybe the movement for this bone, it will start a little bit later. So I will paste relative. Okay, and of course I can select the keyframes and I can adjust the movement if it is too late. And maybe the other one, the one on the top, will move a little bit later. So I have that. So I can do the same with the rest. So for this one, I will check this one first. So the movement of the base one starts here. So maybe the movement of this one will start a little bit later here. So I will paste relative. And the same for the top. So maybe it will start around here. So that's the basic idea. So I can recycle the same animation but apply it to a different movement. And also I can still modify this. So for instance, maybe the top, since the top is softer than the base of the plant, maybe the top will move a little bit more. It will be more loose. So I can change, I will go to the graph mode just to see it. So maybe I can change this, so maybe it will have less bounciness but a wider extension, for instance. So yeah, didn't work too well, but you can see I just wanted to show how it can be used too. I will undo anyway because I really didn't like it, so I will undo. That's it. So that's it. So you can recycle the movement. You can create a very specific movement for a bone. And right now we are working with what's the name? With rotation. But we could work with any other channel. So for instance, one thing I am doing a lot is there are some plants or some, yeah, let's say some plants. There are some plants in which the flower, let's suppose this is the flower, okay. So I have two plants here and I will use a target bone instead. So basically this is a target bone of this bone, okay. So I can animate this one, sorry. So someone is pushing it to the left. So I can animate this one going to the left, maybe staying a little bit more at the left and then going back, right? And maybe actually going back to the original position there. So I have a similar movement here, and now this one will be elastic. Okay, and I will just use the default. So someone is pushing it and then it is releasing it, so it goes back to the original position. And you can see how this is actually affecting the position of this flower rather than the rotation, right? Because we are using a target bone. So I can do the same. I can select these keyframes, I can copy them, and I can select this other bone here and I can paste this. So I will paste them a little bit later with relative paste, Okay, so maybe there. And another advantage of this is that you can paste the animation, okay? But let's suppose this is a character which is not pushing both plants to the left, but it's pushing one to the left and one to the right. Okay, so I want to actually push this one to the right. So what I can do is I will remove this keyframe for now, but I can simply move this to the other side instead. So it's moving to the other side and then going back. So maybe it can even be a little bit more. I will coordinate them. So there. So I am still recycling the same animation. The values are the same, but I can still modify the keyframes. And if I go to the motion graph, I can have a better view of what is happening here. So we have X and Y. So we can modify that, and you can see how the elastic interpolation changes according to the movement I am doing. So maybe it can go down. So maybe this guy is doing something like that. So anyway, it's very, very useful, and especially if you are animating something like a big forest or something, a background where everything needs to react to the movement, but you still want to have control over that movement. It's very, very useful to use the elastic keyframe and the paste relative feature. So yeah, I hope this is clear enough. Okay, thank you for watching again.